Countdown, where wall-to-wall coverage of one of the most exciting, fun, and impactful days on the NFL calendar continues. We've seen teams already change their outlook drastically today as news will keep flying around. You see some of the huge names that are finding new homes. Some are staying put, and so far over $1 billion have been spent. We're only a few hours into this thing. Huge money was spent during the first week of free agency last year, $2.6 billion. That's billion with a B.
Hey!
In total guarantees. The hay came from Brian Clark. We got RC here. We got Lewis Riddick, Jeremy Fowler. Adam Schefter is here with us, of course, and we begin with you, Adam. It's been a busy day so far. You've been breaking stories all over the place right there in the Thunderdome. Let's begin with the latest. Mike Evans and the 49ers. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, Laura, he's gotten a 3-year deal worth up to $60.4 million done with the San Francisco 49ers. He's leaving Tampa Bay, the place he has spent his entire career. Now, the deal is longer than it'll actually be, and the numbers sound bigger than they'll actually be, but the point here is that the 49ers pick up a big-time wide receiver, and the Bucs lose a part of their franchise history, somebody who will be in their Ring of Honor, but is now leaving an emotional day in Tampa. Speaking of emotions, how about Tyler Linderbaum becoming the highest-paid interior offensive lineman in NFL history, a 3-year, $81 million deal that averages $27 million a year and resets the center market. The Raiders get a quarterback for their offensive line, the player that Clint Kubiak, their new head coach, wanted in the worst way, and now the Ravens lose a valuable piece of their offensive line. Malik Willis goes to the Miami Dolphins on a 3-year, $67.5 million deal that includes $45 million guaranteed. This was always going to be the most likely landing spot for Willis, who reunites with Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, the Dolphins head coach, and their GM, John Eric Sullivan, who also was in Green Bay. Former Dolphin and now former Tua Tagovailoa was released earlier this morning. He now is a free agent. He is talking with the Atlanta Falcons. We'll see if they can get a deal done. That figures to be a logical landing spot to team him with Michael Penix to give the Atlanta Falcons 2 lefty quarterbacks moving forward. We'll see how that works out. Jaelan Phillips, the defensive end, goes to the Carolina Panthers on a huge 4-year, $120 million deal that includes $80 million in guaranteed money. The Carolina Panthers prioritized Jaelan Phillips, and they outbid the Eagles, the Commanders, and other teams that were all interested in Jaelan Phillips. And Travis Kelce is going to be returning to Kansas City. They're working out the contract right now. This has been the speculation all along that he would go back there. At this point in time, it is now, in fact, underway, those talks to get that contract done, to have Travis Kelce return for a 14th season. And if he goes, and when he goes, he'll be playing with the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, who left Seattle today to go to Kansas City on a 3-year deal worth up to $45 million. You see some of the math there. And Kenneth Walker is somebody that will upgrade the Chiefs' backfield. A lot of people had wondered if the Chiefs could draft Jeremiah Love. I think there's a lot of people that don't think he'll be there at number 9, where Kansas City's currently scheduled to pick, and we'll see how that works out.
Adam, congratulations already on an incredible day of breaking news. You see our free agent board, and where on the left side you see the NFL Shield, they have yet to find spots. Some big names still out there. Kyler Murray sticks out. Romeo Doubs. There's so many on that list. We'll continue to keep you updated as soon as there's any news that happens. But let's spend a little time here on Mike Evans. A lot of people wondered, would he be able to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? But this deal, too enticing and exciting for a veteran like this. I get it. He's had some injury issues, but he has been so good for that Buccaneers franchise for so long. How does he fit in with the 49ers?
Well, he's going to be asked to carry a big load and really play a big role right out of the gate. I mean, think about it now. You got some guys coming off of injury like George Kittle. Ricky Pearsall has to continue, to work his way into being an every down player and a guy that you can count on to play 17 games. Jawan Jennings is a free agent. So now, really, what does that leave you with? That leaves you with really Christian McCaffrey, as who was the number 1 receiver last year. I mean, Jawan Jennings caught 9 touchdowns a year ago, 6 the year before that. So there's a lot that they're going to be asking of Mike Evans. Mike thought, hey, man, maybe I can just go in there and be like a 1A or a 2, catch a couple red zone touchdowns. No, man, you're going to be getting a lot of action, and probably he wouldn't want it any other way. And you can tell why now, obviously, they put a big push on to get him to move from Tampa all the way out to California.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is the way that Kyle Shanahan understands how to utilize players to their strengths. And with Mike Evans, you have a big body. Also, looking at his game film from last year. He was still great on 50-50 balls. He was a strong receiver in the red zone. And they also need some veteran leadership in that wide receiver room. You think about what happened with Brandon Ayuk after he signed his contract, some of the antics of Jawan Jennings, even though he's an extremely good player who's looking for money based off of that season that he had last year. And Ricky Pearsall being in and out of the lineup. Mike Evans may have been thought to be a luxury acquisition for the free agents in San Francisco, but he's more than that.
Yeah, I can tell you that Mike Evans saw what Devontae Adams did last year because they're kind of in the same class of, older receiver that can still produce at a high level. He saw that and said, I want some of that. And he wanted that kind of offense, and he wanted an elite quarterback, which Brock Purdy has worked himself into being for the most part. Great play caller, chance to win a Super Bowl, and a lot of targets. That was his criteria, and he's getting all four in San Francisco, which was a sneaky contender in all these markets. They were in on Alec Pierce. Romeo Dobbs, who's yet to sign. They've looked around. They knew they had to upgrade, get some route running help.
It's been remarkable what they've done, what Kyle Shanahan has done with so many injuries. I mean, that was such a big story. The defensive side ultimately let them down last season, but the offense had some real highlights, even without some of this firepower. Now we'll see what Mike Evans brings to San Francisco. More off the board, as you can see, so many big names there. Tyler Linderbaum, we're going to get to that, as well as Jaelan Phillips and Alec Pierce, who we just mentioned. But Adam, Travis Etienne to the Saints. What's the latest there?
He reached a deal worth up to $52 million with the New Orleans Saints. There have been so many deals here. The Saints have been very busy today, Laura. Travis Etienne will be the headliner for the New Orleans Saints. Goes back home to Louisiana on a 4-year, $52 million deal. The Saints also get a deal done for the Bills free agent guard, David Edwards, as the Saints look to bolster their offense around their young, standout quarterback, Tyler Shuck, with Travis Etienne becoming his newest toy in the backfield. The Indianapolis Colts held on to Alec Pierce on a 4-year, $116 million deal. The Colts had prioritized keeping him and Daniel Jones. They have Daniel Jones on the transition tag, and today they get a deal done with Alec Pierce to retain him in Indianapolis, which is exactly what they wanted to do with his big play ability. But they couldn't keep Michael Pittman. Instead, they send Michael Pittman to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a trade. They flop late-round draft picks in the deal, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers go and give Michael Pittman a new 3-year, $59 million contract. So even though Pittman gets traded, he gets a new deal in Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts gained Pierce. And here are some other names today that were on the move. Minkah Fitzpatrick traded from Miami to the Jets. Demario Davis, free agent linebacker, goes from New Orleans back to the Jets. Kobe Bryant leaves Seattle to go to Chicago. Kenneth Gainwell to Tampa from Pittsburgh. Kate Otten stays in Tampa. And Isaiah Likely. No, he went to the New York Giants. It's on the Patriots. That is incorrect. We need to change Isaiah Likely to the Giants.
Good call.
And Tyler Algier goes to the Cardinals.
Get him, Shefty.
There have been a lot of moves today. It's understandable. Hey, I'm editing here from the Thunderdome in Indianapolis. That's all I do.
I see it, man.
Adam, that was a test for you. We were trying to make sure that you knew where all your breaking news was actually going.
That's wrong.
Great stuff. I'm glad he called that out. Isaiah Likely, the familiarity, obviously, with Harbaugh. That's why he goes to the Giants. And we're with you until 5 p.m. Just a reminder, the coverage continues after that with SportsCenter. Let's talk about Malik Willis. The Packers free agent ends up signing or at least reaching an agreement. I shouldn't say signed. That's not until Wednesday, 4 p.m. It can become official. But he is going to be a Miami Dolphin. And there's so much familiarity there with Jeff Hafley, the new coach there in Miami. Hafley, of course, the DC. So this is a little nitty gritty, but you got to think about it, RC, that he was going against QB2 and Malik Willis all the time. He knows this guy really well. Some people are like, small sample size. Can he really do it? Jeff Hafley obviously believes in it.
Well, it's not only that you were going against him in practice, you also understood how you had to play defense when he was the starting quarterback. We have seen him take the place of Jordan Love through some of those injuries. And in his first year in Green Bay, it was all about the run game, right? How can we get the zone read, quarterback run? We watched him progress as a passer this season. And I believe after we saw what he had the ability to do against the Baltimore Ravens, that's when you can envision him as a franchise quarterback. Jeff Hafley, you now have familiarity with him, and you understand who Malik Willis is, which I think is all important for his success.
Yeah, this game right here that you're watching right here, this is the one. If you want to like Malik Willis, you'll watch that game and you go, I can see exactly why Jeff was probably up in the box during that game when he was calling defensive signals going, man, look at our quarterback out here. So Bill, when he gets down there and they start going through personnel meetings, of course that's going to be, a point of emphasis for him. Obviously, the only thing with Malik is the fact that, in 22 games, he only has 6 starts. So you're going to have to kind of give him a little bit of runway in order to really find his footing. But there's no question that his dual threat capability is legit. Yeah. It's real. And do not put him in the box of just being a running quarterback who can also throw. Yeah. This young man can throw the football first and foremost.
Yeah. A reminder, too, Bobby Slowick's the OC there, the things that he did with C.J. Stroud early on in his career there for the Texans. Some of that, I think, is probably attractive to Malik Willis in all this.
Yeah, and this deal gives Miami options because 3 years, about $67 million. So they're committing something to him, and he has massive upside to maybe he will be the starter. But we know where Miami is as a roster right now. They're resetting a little bit. So if they need to draft somebody a year from now, they can do that. But I was told Malik Willis throughout this process wanted the familiarity. He wanted somebody he could trust, especially with going to Tennessee. It didn't work out. He was drafted there. They probably didn't believe in him like he thought. Now you got Jeff Hafley, who's been with him. Yeah. He's seen him be groomed by Matt LaFleur and develop as a quarterback. And you have John Eric Sullivan, the GM. That was attractive to him over all else.
Anytime in free agency, and Ryan, you know this, right? I mean, anytime in free agency that you can go somewhere as a player or as a front office executive or coach, you can get some people who you've worked with before. Mm-hmm. That's what sets you up.
Look, seeing a lot of that today.
It's just so natural. I mean, just think about some of the things that we did when we were in Washington, when you were there. Yeah. When we bring in Greg Williams and we bring in Greg Blosh, and then we wind up signing people, who these guys had coached before, already. London, Fletcher, Philip Daniel, and they wind up having great times there and having great production. That's what you look for. It's a no-brainer.
We're going to talk about the Tua Tagovailoa piece of all this and where he may end up. That's coming your way later as Adam continues to work the phones. More news is going to happen. We've showed you our board here of players still left available. Schefter cam, I like that. I want that on the whole time so I can see him. If he's got something. Okay, thank you. They're telling me that we can do that here at ESPN. We got a lot more coming your way as we talk through some of the most
take him off
notable.
The screen.
I know. Yeah, where's Adam? Come back, Adam. The most notable names that have already found new destinations. This is a day where the entire NFL is reshaped. It's so exciting as just a fan of this league to think about how it's going to look so different and where will Kyler Murray go. You see his name up there. He still doesn't have a team. There are some ideas, maybe Minnesota for Kyler Murray. We'll talk about possible destinations here with the guys and where would he make the most sense. Plus, A.J. Brown, is he going to be on the move? We've already seen